At a gathering, 25-year-old John met the beautiful and adorable Amy. He fell in love at first sight. He vowed to himself that he would marry no one but Amy. During a later conversation, he learned that Amy was from out of town and hoped to find a local man with a certain level of financial stability. Hearing Amy's requirements for a partner, John hesitated, because even though he was a local, his family's financial situation was average. However, longing is hard to forget. Even though John knew it was unlikely, he couldn't forget Amy and lost his appetite at home. Seeing her son growing thinner by the day, Mrs. Lee gave John an idea. She suggested he borrow the neighbor's villa and pretend it was his, then invite Amy over to visit, making her think their family was well off. "Mom, will this really work? Isn't this just lying?" John shook his head after hearing his mother's plan. "My silly boy, just listen to Mom. As long as you turn raw rice into cooked rice, the two of you can earn money together over time. You can also gradually make the villa your own." Encouraged by his mother, John finally nodded in agreement. Selfishness ultimately triumphed over conscience. John agreed. A carefully orchestrated fake encounter. John invited Amy over to his home. "Is this where you live? A big villa?" "It's beautiful." Amy looked at the grand villa in front of her, her heart moved. "Come on, don't just stand there. Let's go in and take a look." The interior was luxuriously decorated, clearly made of expensive materials. Amy was astonished. This must have cost at least a few million. After the tour, his mother invited Amy to stay for dinner. They served seafood, which was quite extravagant. Amy felt reassured. John's family's financial situation was indeed better than hers. On the way home, John gathered the courage to propose to Amy. Amy accepted, because she had complete trust in John's character and financial foundation. John was overjoyed. Like a child, he couldn't believe that someone like him could marry such a beautiful goddess like Amy. After that, the two began officially dating. Their relationship was sweet and loving. One afternoon, Amy accidentally fell and twisted her ankle. The pain was unbearable, so she had to call John for help. John rushed over immediately and took Amy to the hospital. He even paid the $4,000 medical fee upfront for her. Fortunately, the injury wasn't severe. After Amy was discharged, John stayed by her side every day, giving her thoughtful massages to relieve her pain with warm and gentle care. This deeply moved Amy. To avoid any complications, he decided to strike while the iron was hot. Shortly afterward, John gave Amy's family a dowry of $60,000 and set a wedding date. Amy and John registered their marriage and then held a wedding ceremony at a hotel. When they passed the villa they once visited, the wedding car didn't stop. Instead, it stopped in front of a bungalow near the villa. At this moment, Amy became suspicious. Could this have been a marriage scam? In the bridal chamber, only Amy and John were present. Facing Amy's questioning, John had no choice but to confess that the villa belonged to a neighbor. Feeling utterly deceived, Amy exploded in anger. She slapped John and refused to share a room with him, storming out. Ignoring her exhaustion, Amy hurriedly took a car back to her parents' home, and she stayed there for a whole year. During this time, Amy blocked John. Seeing no hope of reconciliation, John filed a lawsuit to recover his losses, demanding the return of the $60,000 dowry and $4,000 in medical expenses. The court made the following ruling. The court held that John's request for the return of the $60,000 dowry and the $4,000 medical fee was supported by factual and legal grounds and should be upheld. The court ruled in favor of John's lawsuit. Marriage is a major life decision. Deception is the greatest harm. It can destroy a marriage and hurt both oneself and others. Be honest with each other. A forced melon is never sweet. and a coerced marriage lacks destiny. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Young Dave, in his early 20s, was running a small business in his town. One day in 2021, he met a girl named Mia online who was around his age. The two hit it off instantly. Mia was exactly what Dave had dreamed of in a girlfriend. After chatting for just a few days, Dave was completely smitten with Mia. Not long after, Dave took the initiative to ask Mia to meet up. After that, they started dating. During their relationship, they would often video chat like any other couple, sharing endless sweet words. They were deeply affectionate. Dave would even take Mia back to his hometown, where they would go shopping and dine together. They even spent nights together at Dave's rented apartment, sharing the same bed. Dave was very serious about the relationship. At Mia's suggestion, he even added Mia's brother as a friend, and maintained close contact with his future brother-in-law. Over the course of a year, Dave did his best to support Mia financially. Mia and her brother frequently came up with excuses like a family member's hospitalization, surgery, and even death, leading Dave to transfer almost 20,000 yuans to them. One late night, a friend of Dave's raised a concern, asking if he might be getting scammed. Dave, unsure, decided to visit his girlfriend's place. When he opened the door, the sight before him was unforgettable. There stood his girlfriend, unable to put on a wig in time, revealing that she was actually a man. He was utterly shocked. The person he'd been sleeping next to was, in fact, a cross-dresser. Dave chose to report this to the police. The fake Mia was soon apprehended by the authorities. The most unbelievable part, this imposter girlfriend was actually a serial dater, juggling multiple relationships, and stringing along 2 other lovesick men, both of whom wanted to marry him. During questioning, the fake Mia also confessed that the so-called brother was also played by him. Stories of family illness, death, and other hardships were all made-up scenarios to swindle money out of Dave. In the end, this fake Mia was sentenced for fraud by the court, facing the punishment he deserved. The police remind everyone to verify the true identity of people when engaging in romantic relationships. Be especially cautious with requests for loans or transfers under various pretexts in a short period. Don't let love cloud your judgment and fall into a sweet trap. If you enjoyed the video, remember to like, comment, and follow. Thank you.